Here we go, guys. Back with episode number 5 of Chalk Talk with the Zebras. Welcome back to my partner, Allison Gates. How's it going?
Great, Ray. How's she going?
Things are going fantastic in Moncton. Fantastic. With us once again, 2-time star on the Zebra Chalk Talk is young Christopher Wall. Now,
thank you for having me.
Chris, I mean, it was an extreme pleasure having you on episode 4. And, you know, we got the video posted up on Facebook in the MBFOA group, just like we always do. There were a couple comments on that video that kind of took me back. Do we want to talk about those comments?
They really surprised me.
Yeah.
Really surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, which one do you want to talk about first?
Well, I mean, Jack Scary. I mean, he's questioning the credibility of our project here that we're doing, Gates, because we go from Fowler to Wall. I mean,
It's weird. I used to have a friend named Jack Scary.
yeah. I mean, you know, he used to be a scary good guy, if I remember correctly.
Those
Right?
are the rumors.
Those are the rumors. Yeah, I mean,
then-
we used to know that guy.
And then
We
he
did.
says
We did.
we're searching the bottom of the barrel for guests. I mean,
Uh,
Chris, talk to me. How does this feel to have not only a fellow official, but a fellow St. Johnner talking about you in this form? I mean,
That's kind of sad, but like I said, I used to have a friend named Jack Scary.
let me ask you this. You get a 911 call to go to Jack Scary's house. Are you heading there right away, or are you making a couple stops along the way?
I might stop at the Coors Light banquet party, or maybe the Molson party bus. I don't know. We'll see where we end up going.
There you go. There you go. All right, Gates, before we move on to episode 5, let's talk about episode 4 for a second. I didn't get any feedback or questions on episode 4. Did you have any on your end?
Yes, we did. We heard from one of our local guys down in our area, had a couple of questions. One of them dealt with when we talked last week about near the goal line going in. Chris had talked about the sticks, getting them out of the way.
Yes, yes, we did
Yeah.
have one. Yeah.
If we don't have a score and we still need the sticks, make sure they're well back out of your way. We have the downs box up there, so we know where the spot is, but the sticks on scrimmage play shouldn't leave. What we do is after the score has been made, we will send the 2 sticks back towards center and just keep the downs box there. Moving them back out of the way is key to making sure that everybody's safe, especially when you're down with limited area.
So Al, I think I can clarify that from what I was trying to get at. So when we're at first and goal from the 9, 8, wherever, we know we can't get another first down. That's what I was referring to. The sticks can then go back as if we're doing a convert or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is if there's a penalty on the offense, well, it's still going to be first and goal. Like, it's still going to be a goal situation. For my preference, what I've always done is if we're first and 5, whatever, the front stick, I tell the front stick to move away from the end zone. So he goes out wide 4 or 5 yards away from the sideline, but I keep my back stick on the field during play. I don't send him back to the convert.
Yeah, till after the major score has been made.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can see it makes sense, Chris, why you would do that.
I mean, I understand where whoever the question came from.
Yeah.
If we do have a penalty that requires like offset or not offsetting, but it's, you know, there's could be the turnover potential or anything like that. So yeah, I get what was, I understand it now. And then so I've peeled them off into the end zone, like as soon as like take the, like you said, the front stick, and then just peel that second one out as far as you can get where it's safe.
Yeah, that's kind of the practice I've used as a head linesman in the past. Yeah. Now down judge.
Yeah. Second point that was brought up, and I'm not sure if this came from it might have been a spin-off of one of the questions about when, Chris, you mentioned about when you go in and you get the ball and you set it down. One of the points I wanted to make at that time, and I totally slipped, is that when you're going in, being aggressive, keep safety in mind. Don't run in when their body's still all flying around. If anything, know where the spot is with your eyes, slow down, let all the crashing and banging stop, then go in. Put your foot down at the spot, get the ball and put it there, whether it's handed to you or it's lying loose or whatever. But make sure you always keep safety in mind when you're heading in there.
Yeah, and to add on to that, Al, one of the questions were, should that official coming in take the responsibility of getting the ball from the player? And my 2 cents on that was, it's really personal preference. Chris, you want to come in, get that ball. For me, I'm coming in hard. I'm going to get my spot. I tell in a 4-man, 5-man, 6-man, I'm telling the player to give the ball to the umpire. I'd rather not touch the ball, but again, yeah, it's that white hat thing, but it really is personal preference as far as the ball goes, but it's super important to come in as close as you can to get your spot. Yeah.
Find the spot with your eyes and be always conscious of safety. Third and final point, we've every session, I believe we talked about the importance of communication between officials. One of the things I jotted down following our last episode was, it's also important to communicate with yourself. Like talking to yourself about who are you responsible to cover, or where's my zone of coverage? What's the most important line coming up? Where am I going when the ball snapped? What's the down and situation? It may sound like a silly thing, but it also keeps you focused and in the game, simply talking or communicating with yourself as well as the rest of the guys on the field.
Visualization now. I was at a conference a couple of years ago in Vancouver listening to some senior CFL guys there, and they talk about pre-snap. They're visualizing the play that's about to happen, and it just helps them prepare. Within 5-10 seconds, you can visualize what's going to happen. It's going to help set you up for success. So
exactly.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. All right. We ready to go to episode 5?
Rock on.
All right. So episode 5, we're going to be talking about a lot of the same stuff we talked about last week, except for we're going to be focusing on the 7-man system. And again, a lot of officials in the NBFOA haven't had the opportunity to work the 7-man system yet, but this is a big learning tool. You should know this system. If you have any, if you ever want to take a shot at coming up to the AUS, even for an exhibition game, and maybe, just maybe, we might have a 7-man high school game in the near future in the NBFOA, but we'll save that conversation for a later date. But for now, again, these are great training slides. Even for guys that are working in the AUS level, these conversations are great. If you're a deep side or you're a sideline guy and you have ambition of becoming a field judge, umpire, referee, this is what these videos are for. We're gonna touch on all the positions in the 7-man system tonight. Good. All right, so let's go with screen sharing. I'm going to bring up slide number 1. That's how we're going to get started here tonight. So let's bring slide number 1 up. There we go. All right, so Al, why don't you tell us what we've got going on here and what are we looking at?
So what we have is a normal setup of a normal scrimmage play somewhere near the 40-yard line going in, which is just typically how the 7 officials on the field are going to set themselves in a 1st and 10, 2nd and 5 type of situation. Referee and umpire in the offensive backfield. We've talked with Jim about what weakness that creates. We're about 12 to 15 yards behind the quarterback, behind the line of scrimmage. On these diagrams, they might be closer than they seem because on the diagram, they look a long way away. Our line judge and our down judge have that line of scrimmage and are responsible for everything that's happening in there prior to the snap. And then at the snap, they have other responsibilities. Our back judge and side judge are about 18 to 22 yards off the line of scrimmage. And the field judge lines up as a center fielder, and he's probably between 25 and 30 yards off the line of scrimmage. Now, one of the things, Ray, you mentioned is that in our part of the country, youth sport is predominantly where we work 7 officials.
Right.
And what they've done over the last few years is they've moved those deep side guys and the field judge back a little bit deeper. And there's a good reason for it. Those of us that are wearing stripes are always getting older and slower. Some of you guys are getting slower. The problem is for those people is that the players are the same age. So 25 years ago, when I started officiating, I was officiating kids between the ages of 16 and 25. At my age now, which is a little older than that, I'm still refereeing kids that are 16 to 25. So they've moved those guys back because of the passing game in Canada, and we're just in a normal setup right now. And I believe that we're going to talk about the situation where we're coming out of the end zone. Am I correct in that one, right?
So this, oh yes, that play will be coming up.
Okay.
I want to talk about the back judge and the side judge position for a second. About what you were just saying about the fact that we've moved them back off the line of scrimmage. We used to be 15 yards, and we would hold 15 yards until the ball was with us, and we would go with the ball. The problem with that, Al, is whether you're 35 or 55, the problem with that, when they came out with that, is throughout the entire rule book, we always talk as officials, read and react to the play. But when you're a back official 15 yards off the line of scrimmage with the speed of these college players, university players, is sometimes you didn't, or most times you didn't have time to read. You're reacting right off the snap of the ball, and it just didn't put you in a great spot. Now, being downfield, I play about 20 to 22 yards off the line of scrimmage, and my first step is backwards. It just puts me in a complete different position to officiate that play, because I can now read. I have a much more comfortable position to officiate that play versus being 15 yards off the ball and having to react to it right away. So that was the big change for that position move, and really it's made us better as officials down deep.
Those kids are sprinters.
Yeah,
I don't care what position they play. Those kids can all sprint.
Absolutely. All right, so that's kind of deep. So again, as the deep official, I've got the number one receiver on outside of the formation. I'm responsible for that official, or for that player, for the first 10 yards, 7 to 10 yards, depending on what the wide receiver does. If the wide receiver stays in my zone, I keep him. If he leaves my zone, I'm going zone and watching what comes into my zone as a deep official. Chris, you want to talk about the line of scrimmage here in a 7-man system?
Yeah, so we're responsible for the second receiver. Nothing changes from basic 3, 4, 5-man mechanics. It's everything. We have the line of scrimmage. So again, we're counting offense. We're making sure we have all the right numbers that we need, checking off with our line of scrimmage partner. That's basic. Like that's right from your very first clinic all the way up. That doesn't change. What changes is when we start getting into the passes in the middle. We're responsible for every spot in a 7-man crew, because as we know, the umpire's down in the back in the offensive backfield. If it's a run play, I've got to run the whole way. You as the deep side, you just keep going and keep going and keep going. I have the ball all the way.
Yeah. As far as communication goes, we're talking on every play. We're talking down and distance. We're talking, depending on where the ball is. If it's short yardage, we're going to be having a conversation. There's lots of communication in a 7-man system. Even though we've got more officials on the field coverage, that the communication doesn't change. We're talking on every play.
Well, we all have different partners too.
Yeah.
Because we expand the roster for officials, it expands the communication. As the down judge, I have to respond to my side judge, my line of scrimmage official, plus the umpire.
Right.
So I've got to talk to, and then obviously we all report any fouls we have to the referee. So the only person I honestly don't talk to as a down judge is the field judge and the back judge. In a game. I don't see them. I shouldn't see them other than meeting in the middle for a wrestling match, but that's about the only reason I'd see those guys. And opposite, the line judge would never see the field judge or the side judge.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, Al, anything else before we move on to the video?
Well, I just want to use this slide, Ray, to try and lead into the video that we're going to watch.
Okay.
The video is on a situation where the line of scrimmage is on about the 3 or 4 yard line, but we're coming out. So in that situation, the 7 officials are still going to line up normally. The referee and umpire are going to be in the offensive backfield. Our line of scrimmage guys line up as they normally would. The deep guys and the field judge all line up as they would normally do. The one big difference now is, keeping in mind that we're close to the goal line coming out, there's a really important line, and that's the goal line. So when we're in that situation where we're close to the goal line coming out, the narrow side official, when the ball is snapped, will step right back to the goal line and officiate the goal line. The other official will stay on the line of scrimmage until the ball crosses the line of scrimmage and then react to the play. And the 3 deep guys just treat it like a normal play from scrimmage. So in the video, what you'll see is that if we take the 40-yard line as being the 5-yard line and the 45 is the goal line, when the ball is snapped, the official on the far side of the field, the line judge, I believe it is on the far side of the field in the video, will step right back to the goal line. And on this play, it's imperative that he does because of the type of play that it is. So I didn't want to drop another diagram for it, but just to lead into the video, and we can talk about it once we see that.
Okay, sounds good. Let's get the video up and running. All right, Al, so here we go. Here's video number 1. You want to walk us through what's going on here pre-snap? Okay,
so it's a first down on the 3-yard line. The referee and umpire in the normal positions, unfortunately, cannot see the guys on the non-stick side of the field. You can see the field judge has sort of stepped up a bit. He's at the 23, so he's about 20 yards deep. On this play, the official that's standing right in front of the downs box on the far side of the field is officiating the line of scrimmage. When the ball is snapped, that official will step right back to the goal line, because you need somebody there to determine whether the ball gets out of the end zone by the offense. So if you want to run the play, and then we can break it down after that, Ray.
Okay. All right.
So we have a screen pass. The sideline official jumps back to the goal line. He indicates that it's a screen pass, and away we go. Goes to the goal line. Holds.
Yep.
Pass comes. Now we go. He's still close enough to the goal line that he can make the decision on whether the player gets out or not. And away we go. So it's just one of those little things. And this, like Chris mentioned a few minutes ago, about how the line of scrimmage guys are responsible for refereeing the line of scrimmage. And you learn it from Clinic 1 all the way through, that you have certain responsibilities. That move that line or downs judge just showed is the same in 5, 6, and 7 official alignments.
Right.
If there was a 6-person crew, they step to the goal line. If it's a 5-person, they step to the goal line. That's the most important line right now that has to be officiated.
Yeah, and excellent mechanics here. You know, he's got the arm up for the screen pass. Yep. Everybody knows what's going on with this play. you can see he came up, he took his spot. He's still officiating on the play as the play comes to an end. This was a great video for that official on the sideline there.
I was gonna add,
Little shout out here to Queen's University, which is the university my daughter goes to now. Beautiful football field. I had the opportunity to stand up on that hill and take pictures of the field. So just a little shout out to Queen's University.
I just want to mention that if this swing pass lateral or behind the line of scrimmage, if this goes on the other side, the official, which would be the line judge, they have to react the exact same way.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we have, so down here at I guess on the left of the screen, that line judge, if that comes out the other way, he or she needs to get to the goal line. So essentially your roles reverse, because again, if that player gets tackled right at the goal line and they're standing on the line of scrimmage, do we know if they really got out of the end zone? And chances of the down judge on the goal line where they're supposed to be, the chances of them seeing through 10 bodies potentially, it's not going to happen. So we always have to read and react. And if that comes out towards the opposite official, they need to get to that spot as well.
Yeah. The key thing here is, I mean, obviously, but the key thing this official here is looking for is, did that ball get out of the end zone?
Right.
And again, coming out, the entire ball has to get out of the end zone. It's not like a touchdown where it just needs to break the plane. The entire ball needs to come out. All right, so there's your video number 1, Al.
Perfect. Well done, Ray.
We will now go to slide number 2. All right. Okay, so this is slide number 2. So now we're looking at the 7-man system, and we are in a 3rd down gamble, and on the line of scrimmage is on the 7-yard line.
So the neat thing about these 2 slides is that on the line of scrimmage, the 7-yard line going in, the line of scrimmage on the other slide, on the 3rd down gamble, is it's a 3rd and 7. So they've both got to go the same distance. But if you take a quick look at the 2 charts, you can note that the alignment of the officials is different. So if it's a 7-yard line going in, we talked about this last week. If it's a 7-yard line going in, the umpire is in the defensive backfield. Okay, so we have a better coverage on that important line. On the 3rd down gamble, the referee and umpire stay where they are. The difference now is based on where the ball is being scrimmaged, that the deep official on that sideline is going to come up in line with where the back stick or the line to gain is. So in the diagram we have, the down judge, line judge maintain the line of scrimmage. The back judge maintains his normal position. Field judge, same thing. What changes now is the side judge on the stick side is going to move up and line himself up with that really important line. And that is going to be the 1st down marker. Now, if the ball goes beyond that marker on a pass or a run, the side judge breaks and goes with it. If it doesn't, he stays put till the ball gets close to that line. So it's slightly different in the alignment. If you look, switch back over to the 7-yard line of scrimmage being the 7, the side judge has come up again because of the side that the ball's on. But the big change on that goal line is that the umpire's gone across. So similar, but different to a certain extent. On both of them, if we were to shift the ball to the left hash mark, the back judge then would be the one that would come up to the assigned positions, and the side judge would stay deep.
Al, just a question, and if I'm field judge on this slide, would
the 7 going in?
Yeah, on
okay.
both charts.
Yeah.
If I'm the field judge with the side judge up at the downs box, should I not slide a little bit over to his side of the field?
Good point. there's a couple of things that you need to keep in mind is that you are responsible on the 7-yard line going in. You're responsible for the dead ball line. Secondly, as you say, because the right-hand side on the slide has now been lost an official, as if you want to use that term, there's nothing wrong with him sliding over. So he has a good view of what's going on as it comes to him. He can still officiate the dead ball line if he slides over further to his right.
Right.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Ray, just before we go on, one of the other problems that gets in the way here is that with many 7 officials working, especially at the U Sport level, we have time clocks on the field, the 20-second clock, and the field judge is responsible for the 20-second clock. So he's got to make sure he's in a good spot to officiate the game, but he's also got to be able to see that timer at the other end of the field. So you got to find a spot that's comfortable for you, but you can still do your job.
Right. Anything you want to add on this one, Chris?
No, again, we'll continue to say it as long as we are officials. We have to communicate.
Yeah. Right.
You don't want the line judge breaking or missing communication and the ball come out their way. And it's always communication. You always have to be aware of where the ball is, where the line of gain is, where everything is. And I find the couple games I've worked down deep in 7, if it's a passing game, great. But if it's a lot of running, I really miss being on the line of scrimmage because that's where a lot of the action is. You don't have a chance to take a break. You go in and out, up and down, in and out, up and down.
Yeah. As Chris said, sorry, just before we roll on, Ray, about the communication. So if I'm the side judge on the 3rd down gamble, and I've come up to the front stick, and Chris is my down judge. When I get up there, I'm yelling at him, I'm here. Because the last thing I want is Chris to break with the play as it comes and run me over.
Yeah.
Now we laugh and we giggle about it. And
but
when we see it on video, we really laugh about it.
Yeah.
But that happens because guys get so focused on what their job is that simply yelling up at Chris, I'm here, now tells Chris, I can stay put until the ball breaks.
And it's, being at the next level, you quickly learn as the down judge, and until we split the benches, you have the coaches, the players, everyone yelling. And it's easy for you to get lost in the shuffle. Players going in and out, and you're all of a sudden you forget, right? You can forget to look down and see, or you forget to look at 3rd down and you're going for it. So it's everyone, it's a crew. The side judge has to tell the down judge relays it tip of the cap, I got you. I know that's where you're going to be. So it's nonstop communication. It really keeps you engaged in the game.
And Chris, you said it. One of the biggest shocks of going up to the next level is the activity on your sideline. The number of players, the coaches, the trainers, the assistant coaches, the cameramen, there's just so much activity. There's so much distraction on your sideline. That self-talk that Gator was talking about earlier, you really got to talk to yourself to stay focused on that sideline because there's so much going on.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. That is slide number 2. We have no videos for
that one.
So we're going to move right on to slide number 3.
Yeah.
There's slide number 3.
Perfect. Well done, Ray. All right. So what we have here is we have a 3rd and short, where we have a line of scrimmage at the 2-yard line going in. Now we've talked about these with 6 and 7 man and 5 man and so on. Sort of gets repetitive. There's a lot of similarities when you start looking at the situations on the field. So on the short yardage one, the third and 2, the umpire has gone to the defensive side of the ball, just as he does on the goal line. The referee still stays wide and back. The field judge on the 3rd and 2, because of where the line of scrimmage is, he's still out near the goal line because that's the most important line right now at this point for him. The deep side guys are where they should be, and line of scrimmage guys. Sounds repetitive. the umpire has taken his position outside the widest, deepest player. And I can remember one of our elder statesmen telling me, use that defensive player, whether it's an outside linebacker or defensive end, to help you. Get right up and say, I'm right here behind you. Don't run me over. Protect me, and I'll be your friend. But you stay out of the play until the play goes. So you're in a good, quick position to work. The same with a situation where it's on the line of scrimmage, 2 yards going in. I don't know what the percentages are. I don't want to even guess at it. The number of times that on the 2 yard line, the offense is going to run the ball right up the gut. So in this situation, the umpire is close to the goalpost, can make a judgment on where the ball is with the assistance of his outside guy. So, Chris, am I missing anything? Oh, we talked about this with 6-man. You can talk about what you're supposed to do as line of scrimmage, Chris.
Which one? The 3rd and 2 or the
3rd and 2? Yeah.
So 3rd and 2, kind of like I alluded to last week, the down judge and the umpire are going to be the ones that have the best look. As we'll see, that umpire, the minute they snap, he starts to come in, he or she starts to come in and close things in from left to right. The line judge is sort of blocked out at that point, potentially. I mean, there's definitely, you have to come in as the line judge to back up. Because number one, if the umpire gets the spot, you take it for them. So we can, in 7-man, we switch the ball out usually every play. So the line judge would come in, take the spot for the umpire, let them place the ball and get out of there. And, it's the accordion effect at this point, because this is where all of the nonsense goes on. Yeah. This is where guys are cut blocking and smashing and holding and yelling, and it's the trenches. That's why they call it that, right? So the quicker we can get in, the safer for everyone. Obviously, go in safely, but we protect the players at that point as well with our eyes as we come in safely to make sure that we don't get leg whipped or anything like that.
Yeah. From a down deep position, what I like about this chart, Al, is you've got the ends right outside of the tackles, which you would normally see in a goal line formation. Yeah. So down deep, I am watching my end. I'm trying to assist and help out the line judge as much as possible if I'm that back judge. But again, I've got to give lots of cushion, because you never know what's going to happen at the goal line.
Exactly.
I mean, it may look like a running play, and the next thing you know, you've got the quarterback like Nick Folk breaking out, going into the end zone, catching that Philly special pass. And if you're not there to call that correctly, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. So again, when you're down deep, you really got to keep an eye on your ends, because you just don't know what that play is going to turn into.
So if somebody's watching this and they're doing a count on the number of figures that are on those charts, there are 8 offensive players on that chart right now. There's 4 guys that aren't accounted for. And those guys are generally going to be running backs and slot backs or wide receivers.
Yeah. And
as Ray said, the first thing that that will go bad is if you're a deep official and you start coming up quick and one of those guys leaks out and is in the corner near your sideline, and they throw a pass to him and you don't know if he's inbounds or out, or if there's been contact or whatnot. You cannot over anticipate what's going to happen.
No.
That'll come into play in a couple of minutes. But like Ray says, you've got responsibility still to officiate from your position.
Yeah, you have to give your cushion. Hey, we've talked about it over and over in this video, but these players have got speed, and something is going to come out of that backfield that you do not expect. And it only takes seconds for a player to get from where the referee is over to the back judge. And if you're not there covering it, it can look real bad in a matter of seconds.
You have to think these university players, they watch the sport just like us. They watch all of it. They watch Arena League. They watch CFL, XFL. They watch it all. Where do you think a lot of these plays get brought in from? University brings in that because their goal is to win the game, right? These guys eat, sleep, breathe football. That's what they train for. They want to make it to the next level. These guys aren't running slow. They are full-blown sprints within 3 steps.
Yeah.
They're like 3 steps and they're already covering 10, 15 yards. So a lot happens. And in order for you to be ready, you have to trust your partner. That's a big take home. You always have to trust the other 6 guys on the field.
And when a quarterback gets down to the goal line like this, there's not a quarterback out there that doesn't dream of being Nick Folk catching the ball in the end zone, right? So
just before we leave the slide rate, we keep alluding to the next level. And for us in Atlantic Canada right now, as officials, the highest level we can work in this part of the country is youth sport.
right.
Where there's hope in the next while that we will see a Schooners team coming out of Halifax or somewhere in the Maritime provinces, which will be the next level. I wanted to also mention that many of the videos that we show with 7-man positioning are from AUS games. Tonight, a couple of these videos come from Canada Cup or the U18 National Championship. So we're watching kids who are 18 and under and still performing at pretty close to the same speed that a lot of the youth sport kids do.
Mhm.
So
This is where they get recognized.
exactly.
The Canada Cup is the World Juniors for the hockey players. This is their shot to get drafted. I mean, all the universities there. I've been lucky to be a part of some, and to see coaches from east to west, they're there, and they want the best of the best. And these student athletes know that they're being watched, and they know they're training and they're going through the regimen. They want to get drafted. They want to go to a university.
They do. And listen, if you have the opportunity to go to one of these events this year is more important than anything, because a lot of these bubble players, they didn't get that high school season in this year to get that scholarship or get a chance to get on to one of these school teams. So this summer coming up, we've got some important football games that are going to be taking place for that U18 level.
Yep.
All right, so let's go over to the videos. You ready, Al?
I'm ready.
All right, Al, here we go. Here is video number 5, again, back at Queen's University. Go ahead.
Okay, so we have a 3rd and short. Green team is coming out. It's about a 1-yard difference. You can see the downs judge up in the far side, taking the normal down judge position, 1 foot on the line of scrimmage, the other foot 1 yard away. So he knows where he's going. You can see the umpire has taken his position outside the widest defensive player, and he's in a safe spot. The referee is back there somewhere. I'm not sure if he's in the screen based on what I can see on my video. Our field judge is normal position. Deep side guys are normal position, keeping in mind that they're going to creep up some. And the line judge, same routine. I wanted to throw this one in because of the way in which all of the officials react to the play. So the umpire on the far side is going to step in as soon as the ball is snapped. When I say step in, he's going to step in and look straight down the line. The line judge over on this side of the screen is going to move in so he can get a good look, and then other officials start to come in. So Ray, if you want to run the play, and then we'll chat about it.
And here comes the cavalry.
Okay. So there's 7 officials on the field. If you take a quick look, 6 of the guys are there. The only guy that didn't come up because he's staying back and surveying what's going on is the field judge. The referee has come up, so he's about 5 yards from where the ball went dead. The line judge has come in close to right into the pile. The head down judge has moved in. He's just outside. And the other guys have all come in. They're getting the ball, getting it all set. Everybody's there. When you take a look at the play, how many players are in that little area that is about 7 yards in diameter?
It's the entire teams.
Everybody is.
24 players.
24 players right there. You need to have bodies there to supervise. And like Chris said, by guys being there, it takes away the opportunity, under most conditions, of something foolish happening. So just to point something out here, it's one of the deep side guys that is in picking the ball up for the umpire. Now, that might be a little far in, but it's still, everybody's right there. Okay. So if you want to take it back to the first, Chris or Ray, there's just something I want to mention about the umpire. So let's forget we have 6 other officials on the field. If we're working 5-man officiating, that umpire is not going to be up that far. If we're working 6, he's going to be, because you're going to have a back judge coming up on the other, back umpire coming up to support in the umpire position. You never line up in that gap. If you do, you have nowhere to go to protect yourself.
Right.
So when the ball snapped, Daniel's going to step in and look straight down the line, and he's going to look at the line judge who's coming in from the other side, and they're both focusing in to see where the ball's gone dead.
There you go.
Yeah.
Everybody's coming in, crashing the play. That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right. We good to move on to the next one?
We are.
All right. Let's go to the next video. So with video number 3, Al, this is the goal line down at St. Mary's.
Yeah. So we've already seen the slide on how guys should line up and whatnot. There's 7 guys in this crew. It's a university game. The line of scrimmage is on the 1, I believe it is. It might be 1 and a couple of inches. Everybody is in their proper position to start the play. One of the important things about officiating is that you learn from your mistakes. And that will be really important when we show you the next one. Optics on how you officiate are also extremely important. And when you watch this play go dead, the optics of what happens with many of the officials on the field is not very good. Okay. And we talked about hustling in, crashing in, getting to the spot quickly. So this is a goal line stand. The umpire is over towards where the upright is for the goalpost. The field judge has come up a bit, and you can't see, I don't think, because I can't see it on my screen, where the line judge and the down judge are at this point, or the deep side guys on this play. Okay, so if you just want to let it roll, Ray, and then we'll all hang our heads in shame. Okay, so with optics, if you watch the field judge and the umpire, actually, most of the guys, there's only 4 officials end up in this play. And I'm not criticizing any of the officials because I'm the worst one on the play. It's like we're out for a Sunday drive. Okay, there's a really important line right there, and we're not getting to it as fast as we should. Okay, so the play's well dead when we're finally getting there. 2 of us are still walking into the play. As we've said over and over again, what's the most important line on the field? In this case, it's the goal line. We need to get there to officiate what happens.
The other thing I remember with this play out is, I mean, something that takes play on every play is a whistle. And if I remember on this play, it was very late in
field judge.
Yeah, the field judge blew the whistle on this play, right?
And again, if we all got there like we should have, we would have had a whistle when it should have occurred.
Right.
Yes.
So it's just, again, it's one of those things you need to learn from. And don't care how long you've been on the field, you're always going to pick up things you need to improve on. This was a big thing to pick up on. I don't know how I can say that without ripping myself, but anyhow.
I'll weigh in on this one because this was either my first or second year on the panel, and I guess right from the beginning, you're always basically kind of taught, see the ball, then blow your whistle.
Yeah.
right? And so that was kind of my mindset going into it. And again, for any of the young officials watching these videos, I'm telling you right now, you can do as many games as you want at the AFL or anything like that. The second you take this step up, you want to eat your whistle because you don't want to do things because you're held to a higher standard here at these levels. So it's a very intimidating jump. I'll admit it. This game, this play in particular, I was part of the botch job. Like we as a crew didn't do it well enough. I didn't do it well enough. I didn't come in fast enough. I didn't come in hard enough. And to be honest, I had no idea where the ball was.
Yeah. I
couldn't tell you to this day where the ball is on that video. And I stand by that. I don't know where the ball ever went. I lost it completely. Subsequently, when we started peeling players off, the ball was in the end zone. But again, we didn't see the ball cross. So what happens? When we blow the whistle, the ball is dead. The whistle was very late. We didn't talk as a crew. We peeled the players off. The ball's in the end zone. And we didn't award the team a touchdown.
And you're right, Chris. You know what? Like, looking back on this game, there's no question as a crew, it was just chaotic. I was on the far sideline with young Jack Scary, and you know, neither one of us come in on this play. But as a crew, we should have had a bigger discussion on this play before ruling that no score had been made.
It's not only that, you consider that it's one play out of, I believe there were 181 plays in this game.
Right.
And this was play 61. And it's 61, 81, I'm sorry, play 81. And this was probably the only play that we didn't do a very good job on. But and it's as a crew, we didn't do a very good job. But we can beat this one up. We can talk about it. We can what if. You've got to learn from them and move on.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, the next video that Ray's going to pull up is going to show you how we do it so much better.
All right, Al, here's the last play of the night.
The last play of the night. Now, here's a really interesting thing. This play is the exact same two teams at the exact same end zone, and it's almost the same week 2 years later. Now, on this crew, there are 3 guys who had worked the crew of the last video clip you just saw. And I'm not making this up. This is the same 2 teams, the same hash mark, the same line of scrimmage. Now, the one difference is that in this play, it's not the home team that has the ball. It's the visiting team has the ball on the 1. And as I said, you need to learn, but it's important that you don't overlearn. So Ray, if you'd like to play the video, and then we'll discuss it. And you can stop it right about there. You don't need to see the little short guy running 110 yards chasing
I
down
love
the field.
I love it. I think we need a little Benny Hill music there.
So again, if we go back to it, it's one of those where I'm the referee again in this game. We react much better to the play as a crew. We come in hard. We go to where we should be. If you look at the referee in this case, he wants to be the running back.
Yes.
On the 10, ready to go. Here we go. Wait for the handoff.
Okay. Now, just so everybody's aware, the referee should not be making the spot on this call, but he needs to be in close. Okay. So you can see the field judges coming up hard. The umpires come across. Chris is going to come in from the line judge position very quickly. And then lo and behold, because we overreacted, we have the ball being turned over and carried 100 yards to the other end. I'm sorry. Yeah, 109 yards to the other end of the field for a touchdown.
Yep.
Learn from your mistakes. Don't over anticipate and don't overlearn. We did a better job of covering this play, except for the long return.
Yeah, yeah.
Should keep the ball carrier a little bit closer to you.
I'll just play that last little. I'm just want to play that again. We'll watch that play again coming in. It was a big surprise, that's for sure. And there he goes. All right. Well, that's our videos for the night.
Perfect.
I think we've covered the 7-man system pretty good here tonight, fellas. I think we captured a lot of the information around the 7-man system and how to handle the short yardage and how not to handle the short yardage. Chris, thank you once again for joining us here on Chalk Talk. Any parting words before we get out of here?
No, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for having me. Again, just excited to hopefully get back on the field at some point this year and put all these videos to good use.
Absolutely. And hopefully we have you back on here again at some point. Gates, any final words before we get out of here?
Keep in mind that what we're doing is we're going through a lot of information in a real quick period of time. All of the theory information is available out there. CFOA site has the 6 and 7-man mechanics and positioning for members to take a look at. But we just touch on things very quickly. We spent about an hour tonight covering a whole series of situations, which in a course would be a lot longer,
Right.
longer than that. But again, if anybody has any questions or thoughts or points that we may have missed out on, please feel free to shoot us off a note. We'll bring them up the next night, or if you even add them to the, I believe the YouTube channel has the opportunity to add comments.
Yeah.
Nice comments.
Nice comments. We want
Yes.
nice comments. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Same thing. I mean, we want your feedback, comments. Like Al said, if there's anything that we could improve on how we describe what's going on, let us know. Let the other zebras know, because we're all here to learn.
Exactly.
All right, guys. So that's episode 5 in the books. And we'll be back next week with episode 6. Al and I have kicked around a couple ideas of what episode 6 might be, but I just kind of gave you a hint there a little bit, I think. Kicked around.
Very well done.
Right? I thought that was pretty good. But anyway, that's it for episode 5, and we'll see you guys next week.
Cheers.
See ya.